Today's video is going to be Will I Add It to My Bag, which is very similar to the Will I Buy It series started by Samantha March, as well as several anti-hauls, which I'm not sure where those originated from, but I started watching anti-hauls first. And then there was a YouTuber where she did an anti-haul with shit she really wants to buy. It's Abby Williamson, and I will link her channel below. I really like her channel. She did an anti-haul with shit I actually want. And that's actually where I was like, oh, that's a cool video. But then I found out later that the anti-haul is separate from the Will I Buy It series. But I kind of wanted to do something like that where it was me trying to talk myself out of makeup. So when I go through things, I only tend to pick out things that interest me or that catch my eye, and then I'll say why I don't buy it. Maybe it's the brand or something else, and why I'm going to talk myself out of it. There'll also be some items that I just cannot resist. I am going to go onto the Instagram page of Trend Mood, and I will have her Instagram link below. But let's go ahead and scooch over, and I will put pictures up here. So I do want to do this video once a month, even though there's a specific group of people who like it. And I don't have a lot of followers, but I noticed that it is my least watched videos are the Will I Buy It. So I'm only going to be doing these like once a month or once every other month, just because they don't seem to get a lot of traffic. But so I won't be going over everything, just things that kind of catch my eye. And I am going to go back a little bit, just because I've noticed that it's kind of slowed down a bit, which is nice, but there's still makeup that came out in at the end of 2018 that I'm trying to talk myself out of. So I'm going to start with the Natasha Denona, and I believe this came out around the holidays. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Diamond and Glow Blushing and Highlighting Set. And this looks stunning. It looks even more beautiful than her original mini like Blush and Glow, which I had picked up, but that was a letdown for me. When I tried it on, it had a very pretty flush of color and it was nice, but it didn't do anything that my drugstore or other inexpensive blushes did. And for $19, I was kind of disappointed in it. I actually ended up decluttering it and selling it on my Poshmark. So I won't be getting that, even though I think it's really pretty. Maybe if I saw some reviews where it said it was a little bit better or performed better than her other mini Blush and Glow, but I won't be getting that. Another mini of hers was the mini nude eyeshadow palette. This retails for $25. I did purchase two of her other minis, a mini Lila, which I ended up decluttering, and then the mini Star. Now that I own one of her large pan palettes, which is her gold palette, I actually got that for Christmas from my mom. I can see why some people are disappointed with the mini palettes. I do think that the mattes are very beautiful, but on the mini Star palette, the metallics do fade away throughout the day, which I think is pretty disappointing for a $25 palette. So I will not be picking up the mini nude eyeshadow palette, even though I did watch a review that Mel Thompson had did on it and said that that's actually one of her favorite minis. I also have a lot of those colors, so for that reason I talked myself out of getting that. Next up is, and I don't know if this is, I believe this is still available. This is the ColourPop and I Love Sarai collaboration. And this is the Through My Eyes palette, which I think is absolutely gorgeous, but I'm trying to be extra selective when it comes to ColourPop because A, they come out with a lot of makeup, and B, it's starting to get a little bit repetitive. So I do think that they have a lot of gorgeous shades in there. There's one shade in particular, the Emerald Dream, that might be the one shade that I don't have, but I do feel like, and maybe that mustard yellow, I probably don't have that in my ColourPop collection, but I do have that shade somewhere throughout my makeup collection. But I really do love the ColourPop formula. So if you do not have anything ColourPop, I can tell you right now, they have an amazing formula. And I really think this palette is stunning, but I just know I have those shades throughout my collection. Next up is the Venus XL2 palette. A lot of people were upset when, a lot of people were excited when they revealed, I guess, the palette packaging. And then once the shades were revealed, people were like mad. They were like, how can you show us that bright green and not have it inside the palette? I actually thought this palette was very pretty. I love like muted and subdued colors like that. So I actually found this palette to be quite stunning. I won't be picking it up, but it's really, and I've never tried anything Lime Crime. I've heard a lot of like controversy on the brand, but I'm gonna stop in 2019 canceling brands because of gossip. Unless I see something personally, like I don't like the way, maybe I heard something and then the way the person addressed it, kind of like the whole Laura Lee. I used to love Laura Lee, and when all that controversy came out, I wanted to give her a shot, but the way she responded was like really ridiculous. So I don't have no hate for her. I still have some of her makeup. I've decluttered most of it, and I don't really watch her videos anymore when I see something for myself. But when I hear rumors or stuff like that, I'm gonna stop the whole canceling of the brands. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But I thought this palette was actually pretty, but I don't own anything Lime Crime and they don't necessarily interest me, so I won't be picking that up. So the Milani Luminoso Shimmering Palette. I actually did pick this up. I picked up this palette because I got a 20% off coupon at Ulta. So I wasn't going to pick it up because of the pan shape. I just found it like kind of, that would be kind of annoying. But I did think it was beautiful. I also thought that they were very smart. That was a smart marketing move on their part, using Luminoso, one of their cult classic blushes, and doing a whole palette with that name. So I thought that was very smart on their part. And I wasn't going to pick it up because, again, the palette shape is a little awkward to me, but I did go ahead and pick that up. And I want to film like a affordable glam, you know, drugstore video, and most of it will be with like Milani products. So there are some stuff that I picked up. I also want to pick up their concealers. They did release concealers as well, and I want to pick that up and see if I like that. So those are two items. One I just got, it actually just came in the mail, and then the other one I'm still waiting to see it like in my drugstore. The Viseart Coy Palette. When I first saw this on Trend Moods page, I didn't get excited over it. It was an all shimmer palette, and I was like, you can't really create a full look. And then I started seeing reviews on it on YouTube. Mel Thompson. I started seeing other people with eye looks, and now I really want it. I'm not going to buy it because it's an $80 palette, but it is, after I saw a lot of people's reviews on it and some of the looks that people created, I think it's absolutely stunning. And I've had to talk myself out of it, but I do think that that is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. It retails for $80, which I think is a lot. Now the most expensive palette in my collection is a Natasha Denona one. I got that as a Christmas gift, and I actually saved my mom money on it, so she didn't spend full price on it. So if somehow I got this palette discounted, that would probably be the only way. Another palette is by Ardell Beauty. This palette, the colors catch my eyes, but then the texture, because I'm weird like that, and the fact that it's Ardell. I mean, if I saw some reviews on it, but Ardell's known for like their drugstore falsies, their lashes. I typically do not like eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore. Like, I don't care for L'Oreal and Maybelline. I've tried them. I think for the price, they're okay. You can build them up. I used to use Maybelline, L'Oreal. They are buildable palettes. I just think that there's other brands out there like ColourPop, indie brands that come out with better eyeshadows. And when I think of Ardell, I think of L'Oreal and Maybelline. I did pick up some Milani ones, but I do think Milani's a little bit on the higher end of the drugstore spectrum. So this Ardell palette I will not be picking up. I will say that e.l.f. Cosmetics, the 18 Hit Wonders palette, that palette looks very pretty. that is something that I would pick up just because I hear good things about e.l.f. That palette's really pretty. They've come out with several palettes actually that interest me. Next up is the Certified Eye palette. I think the palette that they came out with is absolutely stunning. I just don't know how much of it I would use. Only because I love greens, but I don't wear blue that much. So I feel like half of it wouldn't get used. But I do think that is a stunning palette. And if you're into blues and greens and like grays and stuff like that and silvers, I think that would be an amazing palette. So I won't be picking that up, but I do think it's really gorgeous. A palette that I had to talk myself out of because I'm the kind of person that when I love a palette, I want the whole entire collection of it, is the Reina de Caribe Volume 2 palette. I got her first one in a BoxyCharm and I really enjoyed that palette. I love it, especially during the summer. It's a very beautiful tropical looking palette. This palette, I saw some looks with it, very beautiful. I just don't think I would get as much use out of it. This color story, although stunning, the pink and the yellow I have throughout my collection. And then I really enjoy the top 4 shades the most. But then the bottom 4 shades, I just feel like I have it. I do want to pick up her little brush set. Just because I wasn't crazy about one of the 3 brushes in her first brush set, but then she kind of went over how to use it, so I kind of want those 3. So if I did ever see like some kind of sale or anything, maybe I would pick it up just because I was tempted to get both of those items. But again, because I can't get it without free shipping, I wouldn't. Okay, next up is this Physicians Formula and Casey Holmes collab. I like Casey Holmes. I just started watching her channel recently and I love a lot of her eye looks. I also like her channel, but I do not like this collaboration. There is so much wasted space. I wish that Physician Formula, because they came out with something similar to this before, it has the perfume. I wish they would have it where the palette can just pop out, because it just bothers me. Like, and there are people that would buy this, so you know, this might interest those people, but the packaging of it completely throws me off. I've never tried the eyeshadows, so I don't know about that formula. I did see, I can't remember her name. She's another YouTuber that I just started recently watching, and she did a video. I will link her below. She did a video on one of their new eyeshadow palettes, because they just did eyeshadow palettes, and it like stained, like the green, like stained her finger red, and she freaked out. So, and also the butter bronzer is okay. Like, I like the butter bronzer, but I've since found better bronzers. It is an amazing affordable bronzer, and even then it's not like that. Physicians Formula is also on the higher end drugstore category, by the way. And then their blushes didn't excite me either. I bought a couple of their blushes and decluttered them, so it's not something I'll be picking up. This has been out, but they restocked it. This is the James Charles and Morphe collaboration. I'm done with these humongous palettes. I do have the Jaclyn Hill 35 pan palette, which I enjoy, but I've been seriously thinking about depotting the colors that I love and then just getting rid of the neutrals. But I really love the palette, the white look of it, so I go back and forth. But I have 3 large palettes left. I have the Carly Bybel Deluxe, which is not as big, and then also the Juvia's Place, I think it's the Masquerade palette. I wish I would have gotten the mini. Those are the last 3, and I'm just over the whole large pan palette. There's also, like, if you cover the colorful shades up, if you cover like colorful shades up, those are all neutrals, so I won't be getting that palette. I was going back and forth because I've been wanting like a very what's the word? I want a very curated, colorful eye palette where it only has a couple like transition shades, but it's mainly colorful. So that just has way too much going on, so I will not be picking that up. Then the Jeffree Star, his Alien palette, the shape of it actually that bothers me. So that's why I wouldn't get that palette. It has nothing to do with him or the colors. It's just certain shapes, they just really bother me. The Mel Cosmetics Blueprint Stack. I actually really wanted this stack when I saw the first two, and then they revealed the rest of the stack and I didn't want it anymore. I think this could have been a really amazing palette. I love Mel Cosmetics. I love their Gemini, the Smoke Sessions. I have like 3 of their stacks. I really enjoy this brand. I like that they did the split pan so you get more colors. I just do not like the palette being half neutrals. So I would probably pick these up in singles. I heard that you can get them in singles. And I'd probably wait till like Black Friday because that's when they usually put some of their stuff on sale. And I would pick up like the blue singles of that. But I won't be getting that. I'm actually doing pretty good. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not getting. This Beverly Hills 90210 palette. Is it Sola Look? Sola Look, I think, is the brand. I loved 90210. I did grow up watching that show. But this actually does not interest me. The packaging of it, I do like the front of the palette. If I heard amazing things about this formula, no. I don't like the shades that are in there. So I'm actually going to be passing on that. Okay. ColourPop Velvet Blur lipstick. I actually wanted to get a few of these, but I noticed that I get a lot of ColourPop. I love their Luxe lipsticks. So I went ahead and just picked up one. I picked up California Love, I believe it is. That should be arriving soon. I picked that up when I saw, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into this. So when Kathleen Lights announced her new collaboration, the Zodiac Loose Pigments, and I will put a picture up of here, I wanted the whole collection. I absolutely adore. So I backed out my camera and it was extremely crooked. I absolutely adore Kathleen Lights. I know people were back and forth. Why does ColourPop keep collabing with the same people? They collab with different people and then they always collab with Kathleen Lights. I like that. I think it's good that they really love her and also that she loves the brand. I don't see anything wrong with it. So when I saw that this collection was coming out, I had to talk myself out of buying the whole entire thing. I only picked up 2 shades. I picked up the Pisces shades. I typically like my sign and the shades that come out with, just because it's the fish and aquamarine, and usually they come out with very beautiful colors. So I did like that, and surprisingly they came out with a very, very, very nice color for Virgo. That's my husband's sign, so I do want to do like a look where, you know, it's mine's in his sign. Moving along, this video is going to be so long because I'm catching up on so much, and so much. I'm talking about stuff that's probably old to a lot of you guys because it's been out for like a month and a half. Another ColourPop. Why don't we just keep going with ColourPop? It looks like they're coming out with like curated color stories. So they had the Sol and Mar, which they repackaged. And I actually wanted this when it first came out. I'm glad that I waited because now the excitement's gone and I'm glad I didn't get them. Also came out with a pink one. I'm going to insert a picture right here. So now this one, which is I think their purple palette. This is the It's My Pleasure. This palette is just another pink palette to me with 3 purpley shades. You have that dark Chicklet shade, then you have Do or Do, and then Bare Minimum, which is a cranberry shade to me. I don't find that to be very purple. And then Sleeper, which is a deeper cranberry shade. I don't find this to be a very purple palette. And when I saw the swatches, there were really only like 2 shades that, the 2 purple shades that I thought were stunning. And then a lot of the other shades, I feel like, again, I have to throw in my collection. So I love purple eyeshadow, but that one actually wasn't anything I needed to talk myself out of. I was not crazy about it. Now, this next palette. This is the Viseart, I don't know if it's Liaison or Liaison. I don't know how to pronounce that word. But this is the Viseart Purple palette. And I think this palette is absolutely stunning. I'll insert a picture of swatches here. this is a palette that I would actually get. And this palette retails, I believe it retails for $40, I believe. 40 or 45, which is cheaper than the Koi palette that I really liked. I do believe this one's smaller. But I really want to try Viseart. I mean, a lot of people talk about how amazing they are. There are, like, I got the mini Pat McGrath and I love those palettes. I also, again, as a gift, got the Natasha Denona. So I do want to try out Viseart. Maybe I'll put it like on a birthday wish list. But this palette and the Koi palette are two palettes that are absolutely stunning. If I had to pick one over the other, it'd probably be the Koi palette, only because of the different shades. But I wouldn't be mad if I got this one either. So if you need birthday gift ideas to my friends and family out there, here you go. Too Faced came out with pretty, it looks like they're collabing with the Pretty Mess. I'm not sure who this is. But finally, when the palette was revealed, which was a fellow YouTuber that found it at Nordstrom Rack, Morgan Turner, which I really like her YouTube channel. I just started following her. She actually, like, got this palette, I think, before it was even supposed to be sold. And she did a video on it, and I actually watched it. I cannot stand when companies do this to their palettes. I can't deal with it. I mean, even if the colors were absolutely gorgeous, I don't know that I would have picked that up just because. And I get it, Pretty Mess, and it's like a mess, but things like that will actually bother me, and I won't pick up a palette. Morphe came out with a foundation, and I was going to pick this up to try it out on my channel, and I still might, but I haven't been hearing some good things about it. It's stained, like the darker shades stained a lot of people's skin. I don't know. So I'm back and forth with that one. That's more affordable. So next is this Hourglass Vanish foundation. I've been wanting to try the Hourglass stick foundation. So when I saw this, I wanted to pick it up, but I saw some reviews on it and they weren't as good as the stick foundation. And then Kathleen Lights also did like a split where she did the stick foundation on one side and then the Hourglass on the other side, and she actually preferred the stick. So I think if I am going to be spending money on that foundation, because it is something that I'm like debating. I don't know that this will ever go on sale. I never see anything Hourglass go on sale. I'd probably pick up the stick one just because it's got better reviews. One thing that I've had to talk myself out of is the new Jouer Cosmetics Bouquet de Amor. I love the Jouer Duo blush sets. I think the packaging is stunning. I think the formula is amazing. I love those blushes. So when I saw that they were coming out with this 6-pan, I was all about it. I'm a little upset that I own 3 of the shades already. But that bronzy orange, that Treasure Me color looks so gorgeous. I really hope they release that in a duo because I would get that. But again, I have 3 of these shades. So I've been talking myself out of that one. But for $42, I didn't think that was a bad price because I believe their other one is $25 if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of pricey for just 2 blushes. I got them on sale. And I also got one pretty much free with points. So unless this went on sale, I wouldn't pick it up just because, again, I have 3 of the shades. But I almost got it. So, okay, then ColourPop came out with some mascaras, some colorful mascaras. I wasn't going to pick any of these up, but I've been seeing looks where people just put it like on the bottom of really beautiful like eye looks. I've always wanted also a nice blue, and that royal blue is calling my name. So I would maybe get it, but it's not anything that I'm getting anytime soon. All right, then we got some Kylie and some KKW. I don't really shop them, not because of controversy. They don't interest me. That family never has. Not to say I would never try out their brand for my channel, but I personally don't care for keeping up with the Kardashians. And I don't care for the Jenners either. So I will be passing on those. So the Beauty Bakery came out with more blending eggs. And these are their Excellence collection. And I think this is a really, really good idea. They, in honor of African American history, they came out with a set of 6 black beauty blenders, and this is something that I'm actually interested in. I bought my sister the original set, and I love Beauty Bakery's the aesthetic. I love their packaging. I did recently pick up their flour. I am a little upset that it came in here. Again, I am all about packaging. I got it off of Ulta's website, and it came in this really cheap looking container, and you could tell that they just stuck a sticker on top. This is the second time that Ulta has given me poor packaging. I don't know if it's the company or what it is, but I was very disappointed when I got this. When I see something online and I pay money for it, that's what I expect to get. I was very disappointed when I got that. I do like the product, but they're not a cheap or affordable brand. So if I'm paying $24, I better get what is showing on the site. So I was upset when I saw that, but I am interested in these beauty blenders. Okay, then Wayne Goss came out with their first synthetic brushes. I do want to pick up Wayne Goss brushes. I picked up a blush brush. He is on the pricier side, but I don't know that I would pay that much for synthetic brushes just because there's so many good, decent brands. I feel like if I'm going to spend that much, I'd rather get the natural hair brushes of his set. And then Sonia G is also coming out with brushes. I want to get more. So I started saying I wanted to get more into high-end foundations this year, and also high-end brushes. So I have picked up a couple. I've picked up 3 Smith brushes, the quill brushes. I picked up 1 Wayne Goss blush brush. I want to pick up a couple more Wayne Goss, and I also want to pick up some Sonia G brushes. I don't want to get sets because they're kind of expensive. I kind of want to hand pick a few of each and get them, you know, kind of build that up a little bit. So this is the Pro Face brush set, which looks absolutely stunning. It's $270, so I won't be picking that up, but if I had the money, I would. Or if it went on sale, I would. But stuff like that typically does not. And then Jeffree Star just announced, yesterday, that he's collabing with Morphe, and he's coming out with Morphe brushes. I do not dislike Jeffree Star. I know there's a lot of controversy again with him. And I do not dislike Morphe. I do not care for Morphe brushes. I do like some of their face brushes. I do not like any of their eye brushes. So that's not really anything that I'm interested in. I did want to mention this MAC Cosmetic 3 palette set. So this looks like it might have the curated colorful palette that I've been looking for. But I will want to see it in store before I pick it up. I don't own MAC eyeshadows. They've never interested me. I think MAC is one of those snobby makeup brands. I've never gone into a MAC store and had a good experience. I've gone into the MAC in JCPenney's or Macy's, and they're nicer. I don't know what it is about MAC employees. Maybe it's just Florida. There's not a lot of MAC stores, but the 2 that I've gone in my area, no one's nice. No one's helpful. I do not like going into MAC stores, and I don't know why, because I just think there's so many better brands out there. And I just never saw what the big deal was with MAC. So I do think that colorful palette is very stunning, but MAC turns me off for that reason. To close this video, I'm going to bring up something that I am picking up, and that is the Urban Decay Reloaded palette. I'm going to end this video on this note just because I saw a comment where someone said that Anastasia came out with their palette first, which kind of sucks for them because they were trying to come out with their new and improved original, and Anastasia beat them to the punch, and with a more pigmented palette. So I do think that the Anastasia formula is better and more pigmented, whereas Urban Decay's formula is more for your everyday consumer. I do think that their formula is something that's not as intense as Anastasia, and you have to build it up. Now, I will say their newer palettes are more pigmented, but their Naked 1, 2, and 3 are palettes that I still use for work. They're not too bold. I still enjoy the formula. I can do a quick eye look and not mess it up because they're not overly pigmented, but they're also not like drugstore eyeshadows that for me blend away or throughout the day disappear. I started a Get Naked With Me series, so I am going to be picking this up more for reviewing purposes because I do think it is very similar to the Sultry palette, but I am curious to compare them. I also will be paying full price. I'll probably get this on points. I've been racking up my Ulta points, so as soon as I see it where I can get it discounted, I'll be picking that palette up and then doing a review on it. I love Urban Decay. I love all their palettes. I know a lot of people are over their palettes. I do think it's just because Urban Decay, they're probably not as edgy as a lot of these newer brands, but I do think that they have a certain target, and that is your everyday consumer. So I will be picking up this palette and I will be testing it out on my channel. It won't be right away because, again, I'm waiting for some kind of sale because that's just how I roll. So that will do it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like me and haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed and click that notification bell so you know when I upload. And until next time, guys.